Testing, testing.
Good morning and welcome to the Columbus Center for Spiritual Living 10 a.m. meditation. My name is Joni Bauman. I'm a practitioner, and it's a pleasure to be with you on this beautiful morning. I invite you to take a moment just to get settled, to be here now, and take a deep breath in, feeling that expansion as you breathe in, and release as you breathe out. Continue that easy breathing, going with the ease and the flow of such a natural process. And with each breath you take, feel your body be relaxed, your mind clear, open, ready to receive. Prepare to open your consciousness, claim your good, and move through this meditation knowing that your divine inheritance is abundance. Know that there is unlimited abundance in your life, and the gifts of the kingdom are yours to receive. Clearing out our minds and breathing easily and effortlessly, let us be open to this abundance. and a passage from The Science of Mind by Ernest Holmes. Abundance is my inheritance. Abundance is mine, and I cannot be deprived of my supply. The trees, the beautiful changing leaves, the beautiful color, they do not lack, nor do the flowers fail to bloom. Am I not as important as they? Consider the lilies of the field. They toil not, neither do they spin. Yet Solomon in all his glory was not arrayed as one of these. Today, I look at the lavish abundance of nature, and I know that Spirit intended me to be as abundantly supplied. With everything that makes for beauty, well-being, progressive living, and happiness. These are all mine. And I myself can allow these fruits of the Spirit to appear today and every day. Since I know this truth of my being, I will no longer hinder or delay my good from coming to me. I will accept and expect all that I need to make life happy and worthwhile. I expect it, I accept it. For I am a child of the Spirit, and every attribute of it, every attribute of good is my inheritance. Nothing but lack of faith can keep my good from me, for I am one with the universal essence of life, of spirit, and its substance will manifest in my experience as I believe. Its substance will manifest in my experience as I believe. No longer will I go for my good, carrying only a dipper to be filled. I will bring on a huge vessel that will be filled overflowing. This day, as I turn to the Spirit within, I bring all empty vessels, knowing they will be filled, and my abundance will become manifest. I know, like I know, like I know, that abundance is my inheritance. My good is at hand. I am receiving my good. Let us contemplate and reflect on our abundance with a few moments of music. And as we transition back, consider these words. My good is complete. It is finished. It is here now and is conscious of me and of mine. I do not have to wait for this good. It is at hand and ever ready to spring forth and express itself for me. There are no delays in the divine plan for me. No longer will I carry a dipper to be filled. I will carry a huge, huge vessel, knowing that there is nothing else than other for it to be filled abundantly, enough to be shared with the universe, enough to be shared with all of us as one. And this day I turn to the spirit within, bringing all the vessels to be filled. I only need to look at nature. I only need to look at the beauty surrounding me to affirm that this is possible. This is happening right here, right now. My abundance is manifesting right here, right now. And my abundance is my inheritance. All in perfect divine order. Let us continue this thought, this feeling, this belief, this knowledge into our day and the days to come. So I invite you to slowly come back to your surroundings, being a part of this gathering, slightly moving and opening your eyes when you're ready to join us as a community once again. Namaste.
Thank you so much, Tony. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Columbus Center for Spiritual Living. My name is Kristen Pierce, and I am a practitioner here. I'll be giving you the announcements. So, of course, during the pandemic, we are continuing to live stream to YouTube. And later today, we will go ahead and post our service onto our Facebook page as well. So feel free to share the service from either YouTube or Facebook. Our 2021 pledge campaign has begun. We are in it right now, and it's so exciting. Thank you for those of you who have completed their 2021 pledge card, and hopefully you've received it in the mail. If you have not received your pledge card in the mail, please contact Robin at spirituallivingcolumbus.org, because everybody gets to have a pledge card. And our grand total, drum roll, is $27,700 is what's been pledged for next year so far. And our goal is $100,000. Please return your pledge card on or before December 1st, 2020. And thank you for continuing to support us here at the Columbus Center for Spiritual Living. If you meant to sign up for the course, Spiritual Principles and Practices, you still can. This is the last opportunity for you to do so. It's an online certificated class taught by Reverend Amy Papadopoulou and Reverend Gregory Toole. The investment is $200, which includes the workbook, the certificate from CSL Home Office, and counts toward practitioner training. So payment plans and partial scholarships are available. To register, contact Robin at spirituallivingcolumbus.org. Join us this Friday, November 13th for Open Hearts Open Mic via Zoom from 7 to 9 p.m. The Zoom link is available in the CCSL weekly newsletter, and it's also available on this actual event on our Facebook page. So Zoom link should be easy access. If you have any problems, contact Robin. If you want to be in the show to share any of your talents, whether it's photography, jewelry making, singing, piano playing, storytelling, any healing talents, contact Jim Hetzer. You can be in the show. Virtual makes it so much easier for a wider variety of creative folks to share. So Jim Hetzer's email is jahetzer@sbcglobal.net. The 2021 spiritual journals are now available for $14.95 plus shipping and handling. To order your journal, go to csl.org. And at the top of the homepage, click on shop, and it will direct you to make your purchase. You are the face of God. Tired of not seeing your friends and family in person? We have a solution for you. Send us a picture. Send us a picture of yourself with or without a mask, and we will be assembling these and posting them for future service. So send a picture of your smiling face. It's such a nice thing to see everybody these days. And who do you send that to? Robin at spirituallivingcolumbus.org. Finally, if you would like prayer after service or any time, you can contact a practitioner on our website or directly and submit a prayer request. That's through the website. So now I'd like to introduce Mac Ware to say a few words. Mac?
Myself, there we go. Good morning, everybody. As Kristen said, my name is Mac Ware, and Helen and I have been asked to just talk a little bit about CCSL, why we're here, and why we donate money to the center. So I think a little background is in order. We started attending here probably 10 years ago or so. As most of you know, our daughter Amy is one of the reverends here, and she kind of drug us kicking and screaming into the center, which is, kind of the way it happens sometimes. Helen and I we were members of a Lutheran church before, but when we started coming to CCSL, we really enjoyed it, found a community that we really, really like, and we absolutely love the teachings. We like the idea of your thoughts become things, you choose good ones. We love that. And we try very hard to support the center in any way we can. We've had a difficult time the last year and a half, as everybody knows, and we have turned in our pledge card, and I would ask that you consider doing the same thing. We can't, the center's got to survive, and in order for that to happen, it actually, it takes money. We stay here, we like it here. Without the center, we feel like kind of being like a ship without a rudder. One of the analogies that the Science of Mind magazine uses is like a ship without a rudder if you don't really have a spiritual center to worship and to help each other, help guide ourselves in our spiritual growth. So thank you for listening, and we look forward to seeing everybody when we get back in person. Hopefully that's sooner rather than later. So that's why Helen and I give to the center and continue to support the center. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mac. Thank you so much. And Mac said he returned his pledge card. He was the very first to get his pledge card in. So yay, Mac. All right. So that's the news for today. And let's all sing our opening song.
Open up and be yourself. Open up and free yourself and shine that light. Speak your mind. Show them who you really are. Show them you're a shining star, a brilliant light. The week was long, but now we're lighting up so bright. Our open hearts show the love we feel inside, and this happiness we share with you. Open up and be yourself. Open up and free yourself and shine that light. The week was long, but now we're lighting up so bright. Our open hearts show the love we feel inside, and this happiness we share with you. Open up and be yourself. Open up and free yourself and shine that light. Open up and be yourself and shine that light. Open up and free yourself and shine that light.
Thank you, Carissa. Good morning and welcome. Welcome to the Columbus Center for Spiritual Living. My name is Reverend Amy Papadupo, and like my dad said, I am one of the ministers here. We at the Columbus Center for Spiritual Living, we are an inclusive organization, and no matter where you are on your human journey, on your spiritual journey, you are welcome here. Thank you for joining us this morning. If you're here in Zoom, thank you for joining us in Zoom. If you're watching on our YouTube channel live, glad you're here. Or even if you're watching the recording that we're going to post on YouTube or on Facebook, we're glad you're with us. If you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel, please do that now. And remember to give it a thumbs up and to ring the bell. We're glad that you're here and we're glad you joined us. And like I said, if you missed today's service live, it will be posted on our Facebook page as well as our YouTube channel. So please say our mission statement along with me. We serve the transformation of individual lives through education, spiritual practice, and deep community, using spirit and science of mind principles as our compass. And I'd like to thank practitioner Joni Bauman for that beautiful meditation this morning. Love to hear Ernest Holmes' words about the Little Dipper and then the big vessel, especially right now when we're talking about abundance and prosperity. It was just right on target. Right now, she is holding virtual high watch for our service today so that we can go deeper and listen deeper and embody the message that we get today. So thank you, Joni. And now I'd like to reintroduce Kristen Piers, who is assisting me today. Kristen?
Yes, thank you. And so now, with the ringing of this bowl, we begin our sacred service. And I'd like to introduce our community member, the great and fabulous Robin Brookhouse, to do a reading for us.
Good morning, everybody. Today, the reading is from Louise Hay's book, You Can Heal Your Life. In the infinity of life where I am, all is perfect, whole and complete. I am one with the power that created me. I am totally open and receptive to the abundant flow of prosperity that the universe offers. All my needs and desires are met before I even ask. I am divinely guided and protected, and I make choices that are beneficial for me. I rejoice in others' successes, knowing there is plenty for all of us. I am constantly increasing my conscious awareness of abundance, and this reflects in a constantly increasing income. My good comes from everywhere and everyone. All is well in my world. This couldn't be more appropriate. Thank you.
And now let the music take us within.
May your days be bright. May your heart be light. May your every moment be filled with delight. May you be blessed. May you be blessed. May you be blessed. May you be blessed. May the ever shining light your way
I am so grateful. I am so grateful to be in the abundance right now, knowing that all there is God. Every piece and part of me and every piece and part of each person here is God, part of God. God is all there is. God is every blade of grass, every breath of air. Every piece of money is all God. There is no separation. And I and each person here is a part of that one. Ooh, that's exciting. And as I'm part of that one, I pull that in with every breath, knowing that I am enough. Each person here is enough. There is enough for me and each person here and for the Columbus Center for Spiritual Living. There is enough. There is abundance. There cannot be anything different. So as easy as air comes and goes from this body that I inhabit, money flows in, flows out, life flows in, flows out. Yes, I am grateful, trusting that the words said today bring inspiration, opening of mind, heart, being, and steps are taken for creation in each of our lives, conscious steps. Yes, abundance, love, money, God, all one. I'm a part of it. Each person here is a part of it. I am so grateful. I lift it up, I let it go, and so it is.
May you be blessed. 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 Yours, mine, yours, mine, yours, mine, yours, mine. Yours, mine, yours, mine, yours, mine, yours, mine, yours. Yours, mine, 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 yours, mine. I step in, mine, yours, mine, and I believe.
Thank you, Carissa. I love watching you create. Thanks for showing us how you do that. Good morning. Hi, I'm Julie Matheson. I'm a prayer practitioner here at the Columbus Center for Spiritual Living, and I also serve on the newly formed Prosperity Corps, which Kristen Pierce envisioned, that is solely focused on the prosperity of our center. I'd like to start by reading our Prosperity Corps mission statement. So Robin, if you want to go ahead and put up the slide. Our mission is to hold space, spark ideas, and offer strategies and programs for the expanding prosperity of the Columbus Center for Spiritual Living, its members and friends. We fully embody the consciousness of abundance in our daily lives. We are a prosperous and sustainable community that joyfully serves as a model for other spiritual organizations who are seeking growth. We loved creating that mission statement and I enjoyed reading it. And before I begin my talk, I'd like to acknowledge that it's been quite a week this week for all of us. It's been, the election week. And I just want to say, no matter how divided it seems we are as a nation, there's plenty of love, plenty of respect, and plenty of prosperity for all of us. And I'm especially grateful this week for you all and to be a part of a community that believes this and practices these truths. This is the 6th and final week we've been discussing various dimensions of prosperity as part of CCSL's Prosperity Corps series. And on purpose, it's been during our fund drive. We have covered a lot of different facets of how prosperity works and why it is so important in our lives, in our Science of Mind philosophy, and to our CCSL community. This morning, in the final talk in this series on prosperity, I hope to weave this all together by focusing on the simple but powerful cycle of giving and receiving as the main engine of prosperity, and the importance of gratitude as the fuel that powers this engine. And just like an engine, the mechanisms of giving and receiving are observable and measurable. And just like the laws of thermodynamics govern the way an engine works, the law of circulation is central to our prosperity. In our philosophy, we talk a lot about many beautiful concepts. oneness, connectedness, wholeness, divine reciprocity. And these are powerful concepts, and we love talking about these concepts. But sometimes they can be hard to explain to someone and even harder to understand and to apply. But when we bring it down to the behavioral level, as in, I said this, or I did that, and then I got this result, we can observe it. We can even measure it. Noting our behavior and how it impacts our experiences is another form of acknowledgement too, because we're acknowledging how things turned out. To do this, we just need to understand how it works and what we're looking for in the cause and effect cycle, and then we can change it. To help highlight what I mean by observing behaviors, I want to share a story from Chicken Soup for the Soul. The title of this story is called The Cookie Thief. Okay, so a woman was at the airport and she had several hours to wait for her flight. So she bought herself a bag of cookies and a book, and she sat down to read and wait for her flight. She got engrossed in reading her book and checking the time, and naturally started reaching into a bag of cookies that sat between her and another man who was waiting for his flight. After a while, she notices that she and the man beside her are eating out of the same bag of cookies. She thought, why is this guy eating my cookies? How rude. She kept reading, watching the clock and eating the cookies. He would take a cookie and she would take a cookie. She would occasionally give him a dirty look, and he would only smile sweetly back at her, seemingly happy to be eating cookies together. When they got down to the last cookie, he broke it in half and handed half of it to her. She snapped it out of his hand and gave him another dirty look. Sometime later, to her horror, I'm sure, she reaches into her bag and discovers that the cookies, the ones she bought, were unopened and still in her purse. I love this story. It so beautifully compares and contrasts two different attitudes of giving and receiving. She thought he was digging into her bag of cookies when she was really the cookie thief here. And he was happy to be sharing his cookies with her. He knew whose cookies they were. In Science of Mind, we talk a lot about the law of circulation, or the law of attraction. We also call it the law of giving and receiving. We call it the divine law of reciprocity, the law of cause and effect. Like, we use all these terms interchangeably. And it's also the law of manifestation and how it works. This law tells us simply that what we think about is what we bring about, that our thoughts matter, our perceptions matter, our behaviors really matter. How we express our attitudes of giving, receiving, and gratitude directly contribute to how we experience our prosperity. In fact, it's our understanding of how the law of cause and effect works that compels us to care so much about the purity of our thoughts and intentions. And while this is so important, really understanding how we believe about giving and receiving and how we experience our own prosperity can be a little tricky sometimes. Back in 2001, I was getting my master's in psychology and expressive therapies, and I had just completed the CSL practitioner training program a few years before that in '99. And to complete my master's program, I had to do a research and write a thesis paper. And since I had just finished my CSL practitioner training, I was looking for practical ways to talk about our philosophy. I was looking for common sense language to help me better understand and describe our core science of mind principles, especially the law of cause and effect. And the central question I had as I was doing this thesis was, it was related to the role of gratitude or appreciation or just simply acknowledgement in the law of circulation. Like, here's what I wondered, does acknowledgement in the cycle of giving and receiving matter? And if so, if we aren't grateful receivers, does that stop the flow? And if we are grateful receivers, does that truly increase the flow? I figured since this is a law, it must be measurable. And to measure it, I had to collect data. So I came up with 3 scenarios that involve people giving and receiving. I had a giving of money scenario in a family environment. I had a gift giving in a traditional hierarchical work environment because I wanted to study giving in that kind of setting. And then I had a scenario of someone holding a door open for someone else in a public space. In all 3 scenarios, someone gave, someone received, and the receiver either did not acknowledge what they had received or did not reciprocate in some way. And then I had prepared a series of questions about how the characters in the scenarios interacted and behaved. I interviewed people just randomly, wherever I was, in airports, in parking garages, random events, at the beach, in the subway, you name it. I carried my tape recorder with me. I asked permission to interview, and I just went for it. And because of this approach, I ended up with a very diverse cross-section of people and data. When I got to the data analysis phase of the research, I was fascinated to see that the answers to all 3 scenarios were all over the place. This was especially true in the public scenario, where one person in the scenario holds a door open for another person who is coming through with a load of boxes in her arms. The woman with the armful of boxes walks through the door and doesn't acknowledge the person who's holding the doors open for her. One of my respondents said, "I just hate that. Like if I could know ahead of time someone wasn't going to acknowledge my effort, I wouldn't have held the door open." Another person had just the opposite response. She said, "This is a stupid question. Who cares that the woman with the boxes didn't say anything about the door being held open for her? How the heck is she going to get all those boxes into her car? That person who was holding the door open should run out to her car and open that door too." In the end, I could really see where people were in all these scenarios. But in the end, the pre-planned questions about the scenarios ended up just being a warm-up into talking more deeply about how my interviewees really thought about giving and receiving. In this more open-ended part of the interviews, one of my favorite questions to ask was, which position do you feel is the more powerful position, giving or receiving? And before I share with you what they said, what do you think? Which, giving or receiving, feels more powerful to you? And in which position do you feel more adept or comfortable? In my research project, everyone responded that they thought giving was the more powerful position to be in, and that receiving felt not only weaker, but more vulnerable. Giving was equated with power, and receiving was equated with vulnerability. Such an interesting thing to think about. If we have this mindset, then it will affect our ability to receive more prosperity. Of course it will. Because if something feels too vulnerable, then we probably won't open ourselves up to receiving it. We'll block it. One story was particularly compelling. At the very end of all my interviews, after everything was collected, a neighbor said, "You really need to interview this one last person." And I said, "Okay." In this interview, a young woman whose aunt and uncle took her on a trip to Europe, they brought her with them with her cousins, and they paid for her plane tickets and her hotel stays and all of her meals. And at the end of the trip, when they were getting their bags out of the trunk of the car, she felt that she needed to acknowledge all she had received. But she'd never learned how to gratefully receive. She didn't have words for it. She told me that her family didn't practice receiving in this way, so she didn't know what to say or what to do. She took her bag and left. And at the time of our interview, which was several weeks later, or several years later, she still felt so badly that she didn't know how to convey her gratitude. It was a foreign concept to her, and yet the urge was there to do it. Something felt off to her, even though it wasn't a skill she even had. As she shared her story with me, I felt so much compassion and understanding about how important it is to learn, to practice gratefully receiving. And it really opened my eyes that not everyone has been taught this skill, and it really is a learned skill. In my overall conclusion, thanks to my respondents, was that acknowledgement in some form or fashion, whether it's a thank you or at the very least some form of feedback, is a critical part of the whole give receive cycle. Even if it's a, you know what, no thank you. Thank you very much, but no thank you. It's a part of it. At the end, and in the 20 years since I've done this project, I've returned to these lessons many times, and it's profoundly shaped how I observe my own attitudes and behaviors about giving and receiving. And I've thought a lot about the law of circulation and how it really works. I came away from this project appreciating that for the law of reciprocity to flow, giving and receiving need to be in balance. In fact, both giving and receiving are equally important. This is true because the universe and the law of reciprocity pick up on our patterns of what we believe we deserve, either as a giver or as a receiver. Louise Hay said this amazing thing. I've always loved this quote from her. She said, if we took all the money in the world and we redistributed it equally among all people, those who were poor before would be poor again, and those who were rich before would be rich again, because wealth has to do with consciousness. And the great thing about consciousness is we can observe it and we can change it. We can observe our consciousness in action through our behaviors, and we can change it. So a good starting point is to conduct a study of giving and receiving in your own life. I mean, why not? Ask yourself questions about your giving and receiving. No judgment about it. Just collect the data. Just bringing our awareness to it can change it. The good news is, wherever we are in the balance of giving and receiving, we can make new conscious decisions about how we give and receive. The Rune Book of Wisdom says, there is only one power in the universe, and that is the power of decision. All else follows. I love that. I want to say it again. There's only one power in the universe, and that is the power of decision. All else follows. So, what are some things we can do to bring more balance to our giving and receiving and to increase our prosperity? What can we do? Well, we can observe why and how we give. Do we ever catch ourselves giving to get love? Sure, I do. If so, we can practice giving without expectations. Do we ever give to control? Sure. If so, we can choose to ask more directly for what we need. Do we ever notice that we end up feeling depleted because we overgave? Yeah, who doesn't? Okay, well, we can practice saying no more often. Do we ever catch ourselves holding back because we don't feel we have enough to give? If so, we can practice just giving a little bit to get the flow moving. Another thing we can do is give others the gift of possibility. We can give others the gift of possibility. Sonia Choquette says, find out something that someone else wants and be their believing eyes for it. Say, yes, I can really see you having that. I see that for you. I believe that's possible. I really want that for you too. And here are some ideas for being a better receiver. Make an I want list. That's the first step to receiving. Acknowledge the things that you want. That's okay. Because when we're able to allow ourselves to want something, it activates a part of us that believes it's possible for us to have it. There's a give and receive cycle right there in naming what we want. And another idea for being a better receiver, see a therapist or someone in the healing arts and allow yourself to receive the support. It could be the most wonderful thing you ever did. Tell him or her that it's your goal to work on your prosperity and to become a better receiver of prosperity, and let yourself receive their care and wisdom on this topic. Just receive it. We can practice receiving compliments and gratitude. That's another thing you can do. When someone gives you a compliment, say thank you. And when someone thanks you, say, you're welcome. It sounds so simple, but it's actually hard to do. But it's so powerful. And as for practicing and expressing gratitude, you guys know this one, we all know it. It's tried and true. Make a gratitude list. Making a gratitude list every day, make one every day for 3 weeks, and really enjoy the things that you put on there. Really let yourself feel how great it is that you have all these things. Because even in times of great financial strain, we can make a gratitude list and feel prosperous by acknowledging what we already have. You know, we can just say thank you more often. Better yet, send handwritten thank you notes. Send a card a day, every day for 30 days and see what new experiences come of it. And another interesting way to know where we are in the balance of giving and receiving in gratitude is to notice how often and when we feel envy or jealousy. And this is a big one. You know, envy is really nothing more than a reaction to someone having something that you would like to have. You know, it's good information, it's feedback. You know, we can say to ourselves in those moments when we feel envy, there's plenty for everyone, including me. And thank you for showing me that there's something there that I obviously want. I'm having a reaction to it. I'm grateful I can have that too, or some better version that's tailored just for me. And most importantly, as simple as this sounds, just make the decision to be prosperous. We can just decide to be prosperous. I remember when we were stationed in San Diego 26 years ago, my husband was a Navy pilot, and they barely pay those guys anything to do this super dangerous job. And I was working in human resources, making very little. And we were careful with our spending, we were careful with our savings, and it just felt like we were barely making it, you know, paycheck to paycheck. And one night, after paying the bills, my husband says to me, I don't want to live like this anymore. I don't want to barely be making it. I said, I agree, me either. You know, we're living in San Diego where there's so much abundance and we saw other people figuring this out. I said, I agree, me too. And in that moment, unbeknownst to us, we made a contract with the divine. A year or so later, we were in another duty station in Fallon, Nevada, and we were attending services regularly at the CSL in Reno. And there we took a 4 T's class, which stands for Tithing Your Time, Talents, and Treasures. And it turned out to be a total game changer for us. For both Jim and me, this was our first spiritual community as adults. And I'd go to Sunday services, fold my arms over my chest and think, they're going to expect me to give here. And I don't feel like I have enough as it is. But we did start tithing more regularly and gave more of our time and talents, including teaching the kids Sunday school. And it did change our lives. Soon after that, my husband got out of the Navy, we moved to Massachusetts, and both got our advanced degrees, and we changed it all up. But it all started with that decision to imagine something new. The most powerful force in the universe is the power to decide. And this decision alone can change our prosperity. We don't know, we don't know when we make a decision like that how it's going to ripple out. But we do know when our hearts are pure, it's going to be good. In closing, we are so fortunate to have the perfect place here at CCSL to practice these ideas, to receive the love and goodness that this community has to offer, to give more than we might feel comfortable with so we can expand our comfort levels of giving and receiving, and most importantly, to provide the fuel by appreciating each other, our leaders, and how special our community here truly is. Thank you for listening, and please join me in an affirmative prayer. And I like to call out the steps as we've been taught to do. Step 1, I acknowledge divine intelligence. It's pure goodness. It's unlimited. And I can use it, we can use it, we can partake. We're meant to. And step 2, I acknowledge that prosperity is within all of us, all around us. It is us. We're a part of it. We cannot be separate. And step 3, I know that giving and receiving is an observable cycle that we can fine tune. We can use it to fine tune our most personal workings of our mind. And the law of giving and receiving is real. And our thoughts and our words and our behaviors and our perceptions, they matter. We now allow ourselves to be successful and prosperous. We allow it. We say yes to that. We now come into balance in our giving and receiving, allow ourselves to enjoy both. Our potential is infinite, infinite, and we embrace it. Our attitude of giving and our attitude of gratitude and receiving brings us exciting and surprising opportunities. I trust that what belongs to us is coming to us right now. And I'm grateful for this truth. I welcome it, I appreciate it, I celebrate it. And lastly, I release these intentions from my heart into the divine law of cause and effect, as I know it already exists in the all possible. And please join me in saying, and so it is.
Life gets crazy, life gets rough. I know we gotta hang on to each other now. Times are changing, times are tough. I know, let's remember what we came here for. You gotta tune into your heart today. You know I can't think of a better way to recall all the walls that had to fall for us all to be near in the here and now. And how we came here to love life. Da-da-da. We came here to love life. Through it all, opened up and love life. Da-da-da. 'Cause if you open up your heart and let it, life will love you back. Uh-huh. Life will love you back. Mhm. The current stirring up the stuff, that we left to sit on the bottom of the sea. And what you're doing never seems to be enough. You gotta do that thing that's yours to do. You gotta tune into your heart today. You know I can't think of a better way to recall all the walls that had to fall for us all to be near in the here and now. And how we came here to love life. Da-da-da. We came here to love life. Through it all, open up and trust life. Da-da-da. 'Cause if you open up your heart and let it, life will love you back. Life will love you back. If you let it in, life will love you back. Just open up your heart a tiny little crack and it'll love you back. We came here to love life. Da-da-da. We came here to love life. Through it all, open up and trust life. Da-da-da. 'Cause if you open up your heart and let it, just let it. And if you open up your heart, your neighbor will open their heart too. And if you open up your heart and let it, life will love you back. Uh-huh. Life will love you back.
Thank you, Carissa. And for those of you who don't know, or for those of you who do know, I just want to take a minute and acknowledge the music, because the music, Carissa and Tony, our pianist, they write the music for our services. What an amazing, amazing job you guys do. Just wonderful. Thank you. So now it is the time for the giving of our gifts. Thank you for all of the ways that you continue to support the center during these times and in all times. We are honored to be able to continue to support you spiritually. We appreciate your gifts, your donations, and your tithes that you give to CCSL. Just like Julie talked about in her talk today, we engage in that law of circulation. As we give, we receive. And it's important for us here at CCSL to receive those donations and those tithes, because it does help us to fulfill our vision, helps us fulfill our vision statement in a world that works for everyone. So thank you. Please say our giving affirmation with me. My gift goes forth to heal and bless and prosper. It does its good and perfect work and returns to me multiplied abundantly. And so it is.
Flowing in the stream, moving in the flow, opening to the all, letting it go. Flowing in the stream, moving in the flow, opening to the all, letting it go. Letting it go, letting it go. Flowing in the stream, moving in the flow, opening to the all, letting it go. Flowing in the stream.
Thank you. Let me just give a shout out to Joe Nelson, our drummer, percussionist, as well as Carissa Holmes for that amazing song. Thank you. And let's thank our practitioners, Joni Bauman for meditation and high watch, Kristen Piers on platform. Thank you, Rob and Brookhouse, for the reading. Thank you to Mac Ware, my dad, for the PSA about the center and what that means to him and Helen. Thank you to our soloist and our song leader, Carissa Holmes. Thank you, Tony Bernardi on piano. Thank you, Joe Nelson on drums, Steve Parakis on bass. And thank you all who have collaborated, all of your musical talents and all of your talents to provide the music for today. And yes, so I apologize. I jumped the gun here and I forgot that we had a prayer for the blessing. So Kristen, thank you for putting that in the chat. Would you please come back on and give us our blessing? Thank you.
Giving and receiving in perfect flow. I am so grateful. I'm so grateful to be in the flow right in this moment, in this service with this community. I'm so grateful to have had a demonstration of hearing and seeing the flow as the service progressed, and seeing Carissa create songs and hearing Carissa create this rhythm that just is like, oh yes. And Julie's words, perfection, explaining and researching and just loving, expanding that loving heart. I am grateful for each person who's participated today. I am grateful knowing that my words can be a reflection of each person's hearts, each person's words, and as each person listens today, those words, those feelings that I am not saying, join this prayer of gratitude, and they are received as well. Ah, I am so grateful, knowing that all there is God. I'm a part of God. Each and every person here is a part of God. The giving and the receiving, the gates are open. I am grateful. I lift it up. I let it go. And so it is.
And so it is. Thank you, Kristen. That was an opportunity for me to say yes to receive on that. So thank you all who are here today. If you're joining us for the very first time, we welcome you. We'd like to send you a welcome packet in the mail with information about us. Please contact the office, or you can send us a private Facebook message. Also, if you are not receiving information about our services, please call the office, or again, you can send us a private Facebook message. So please say our affirmation with me. As Robin gets that slide up. Thank you, Robin. There is only one life. That life is God's life. That life is perfect. That life is my life now, and so it is.
All right, let's all groove. When I look at the world and my life and the people lighting up my day, I see help, I see love, I see strength, I see a promising new way. Oh no, it's not a secret, nothing hidden from you and me. It's simple, it's our community. When I look at the world and my life and the people lighting up my day, I see help, I see love, I see strength, I see a promising new way. Oh no, it's not a secret, nothing hidden from you and me. It's simple, it's our community. Sometimes the grass looks much greener on the other side. Oh, but you gotta water our own yard first. and the people lighting up my day. I see help, I see love, I see strength, I see a promising new way. Oh no, it's not a secret, nothing hidden from you and me. It's simple, it's our community. Peace, blessings, and prosperity. Have a beautiful week.